started making my own laundry detergent a little while ago, and it works so much better, leaves my clothes so much fresher, just cleaner, and it costs me far less. I only have to make up a batch every few months, and that's even with a family of 6 doing multiple loads of laundry every single day. So we are here at Walmart to pick up what we need for the cheapest, best homemade laundry detergent you are ever going to make. Come with me, I'm gonna show you exactly what we get and how I make it. You've got to be kidding me, y'all. These things are $2.98. Look how nice these are. Look at that. It's $1. Yeah. I love this time of year. They have the best things like this. But look at $2. It's like sturdy. I like that. So I personally got this to hold my laundry soap in. So this is just the Anchor 1 gallon for $10. Now you could do the bigger if you want. I'll show you where I have mine sitting. This fit perfect for me and it holds plenty. So I have one of these that I keep it in as far as like sitting out in my laundry room. Of course, they've got a million other options that are super duper cute over here. And this is what I have to kind of mix it and store it in, because I make up a big batch that can't all fit in my glass one. And so I have one of these big storage containers that I hold it all in between. And again, $10, super inexpensive. So I have these. Guys, when did Walmart get so fancy? They just redid our Walmart and it is like the prettiest, fanciest thing these days. Look at all this stuff. I know we're here for laundry stuff, but still. You just kind of can't help but walk by and go, wow, look at all the pretty things that I don't need, but they're really pretty. And sometimes we need pretty things, but all right, back to laundry soap. Okay, but seriously, cute. Oh no, it's up there, but it's only $10. Oh, yeah. OxyClean is a great one. You can get this huge box, which is a phenomenal deal for $15, or just get one of the smaller containers. Sometimes I can find this at Dollar Tree. Not same brand, but the same product. So it's kind of hit or miss, but OxyClean especially, you got kids, a lot of active, nucky smells that are coming through your laundry room. OxyClean can be a great one. I do a box of borax here, $5.97 for this. A box of super washing soda here, $5.38. And you can do baking soda if you want. I kind of flip it back and forth sometimes. Sometimes I'll do baking soda, sometimes I'll do OxyClean. Kind of just depends on what I'm needing. Sometimes I will throw in a bag of this laundry detergent. I like the Roma one. And again, that's just $1.48. So sometimes I will do Roma. I've also done the Foca brand as well. So sometimes I will do these. Then for the soap part, I either get this right here, $1.78, or I get this Zote brand. So either or, this one is much larger. The pink one has some fragrance in it, white does not. So you do with that what you will. I'm gonna go ahead and get one of each. So $2, just under $6. And I went ahead and they had the OxyClean at Dollar Tree. I'll show you that when I get home. And this is what we need to make the best laundry detergent. So back home from the store, I've pulled out, again, this big container is what I use to kind of mix everything in and store it. And then I have the glass gallon container. I still have some soap left in here from my last batch. I make this stuff up literally every few months. We are a family of 6 with usually at least 7 to 8 or 9 people washing laundry at our house regularly. We do at least a couple loads every single day. And so I have everything in here with just an old tablespoon scoop that I use. It really only takes like 1 tablespoon. If I have a really nasty load of something or I'm washing like the pet bedding or something, I might put in 2, but that's it. And so I've kind of got a mixture in here a little bit left that I'm just gonna incorporate into this batch. Now, I think the genius thing about this, I started getting really frustrated with buying different laundry soap. It is so incredibly expensive, especially when you have so many people doing laundry like we have at our house. I was buying different stuff. It was expensive. And I was noticing just so much buildup with all of our high efficiency washers that we have today. It really does end up leaving so much buildup on the clothing. And so every season I was noticing that I was then having to go through and strip all of our stuff. Towels smelt gross and funky. Clothing even didn't feel the best. And so I was taking like a few days every season going through and stripping our laundry to get all of that buildup off of it. And everything came out so much better. And so finally I got to this point of, this is ridiculous. Laundry soap is so expensive. All of the big brands out there, they just cost a ton. I feel like they're leaving our clothes kind of dingy. And then I'm having to go through all this process of stripping the laundry periodically, even with all of that. And so why not just adjust what I'm using in the first place? And so what I love about this is you really can kind of mix it up, okay? There isn't a one size fits all. You can research out there for homemade laundry detergents, and there are a million recipes. I kind of stick with some core essentials here, and then we'll kind of swap out a couple things as we go, like I kind of already touched on at the store. And so for me, super washing soda is kind of one of the staple ones that I always use, so we will add that in. Borax is most always used. I know different people feel different ways about it. Do with it what you will, but I usually pretty much always have borax in ours. Sometimes I will forego the borax though and use some of the kind of powdered laundry detergent. I have found, don't get mad, but I have found that those really cheap international brands, actually, I like them better. They work better than our brands we have here. Think of like Tide and, you know, the big ones. I feel like they work better and it's a fraction of the cost. Just like here, I just found this at Dollar Tree the other day and picked it up as a fabric softener. We don't use much fabric softener. There's another tip for you. If you're using a lot of fabric softener, you're really going to get that buildup in your washer and on your clothes. We use like a tablespoon at most. I put a little splash in there. You can also use white vinegar and it works fantastic. So we will periodically, we have a lot of animals. We've noticed like having this in to kind of help with some of the static and pet hair definitely works. So I put in, again, like a tablespoon of this, but this, one of the international lower price brands we find we like far better than kind of the big names we're used to. So always the laundry booster, borax, or one of the kind of off-brand international laundry detergents that I showed you at the store. And then quite often I will just put in the Zote. I go ahead and I'm gonna show you how I shred this up and mix this in. I love using this. My husband loves smells, and so stuff with fragrance is something that our family appreciates. Again, if your family can tolerate it, depending on any allergies and things like that. We actually have kids with a lot of skin allergies, and we have had no issues with what we're doing here. So try it out for your family and see. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in a bar of this along with the Zote this time. Again, I love making this up, making a huge batch of it, and I only do this every few months. I went ahead and picked up from the Dollar Tree their kind of OxyClean. Ours doesn't always have this, so sometimes I'll go ahead and get brand name OxyClean at Walmart, but I went ahead and got this from the Dollar Tree. I got 2 of these that I'm gonna mix in there. And then a secret ingredient that I pick up and put, again, about a tablespoon of in the washer every time we do laundry is Pine Sol, Pine Glow. You can get Pine Sol from Walmart. You can get the Pine Glow from Dollar Tree even. This one we saw, it was watermelon scented. I don't even know what that's gonna be like, but we thought it would be kind of fun to try it out. I put a cap full of this in, and it really does help just disinfect. Especially, we have a homestead, we're out dealing with chickens and sheep and the dogs and all of the things. Hi Zoe. So having a little bit of disinfectant just with all of the stuff that we're out dealing with and doing is something that we like, and it also helps if you're getting kind of some of those like funky odors and things in your laundry as you're going. This can be a great way to just wash out your washing machine and really wash out your laundry, towels and things like that as you go. So these are all of our core ingredients. Let's go ahead and break down now how to make up a batch of this super cheap yet totally effective laundry detergent. Now, the first thing I do is pull out my cheese grater to grate up the soap. Now, you want to be very careful when you do this. Actually leave the wrapper on for as long as possible because it can be really easy for your fingers to slip off and get cut. So just be mindful when you do this to be careful. Now, when I go to use something like the Fels Naphtha that is a little bit more dense than the Zote, I actually go ahead and grade part of this on the regular side and then the other part on like the smaller side of my cheese grater here, just to get that broken down a little bit. When you're grating this, you want to try to do it in a way that you're getting smaller chunks of soap and not larger chunks of soap. And again, being very, very careful to not cut your fingers. Once this is all grated, I put it in the main jar that I have so it can be ready to get mixed. So once you have all of your soap grated, again, being very careful with your fingers as that can be kind of tricky. I usually will kind of throw that in here together. We're gonna mix all of this up and so it all balances out. I'm gonna take this ginormous container, this thing is literally huge. And what I start doing now is I take all of my powdered ingredients and I start pouring them in. I'll really do about half a box of this, half a box of the borax, and just one of the oxygen cleaners, and then we'll start mixing in some of the actual soap flakes. And so again, just trying to get us a nice good mix here. Of course, this would be super easy if I made this in like a massive 5-gallon bucket or something like that, but this was the container I have. This is what we use. It's easier to store, so that works for us. If you have an extra large family, maybe just doubling this and doing it in a big container like that might work better. But we're gonna go ahead and just start mixing this up here. And it smells so fresh, it smells so good. You know exactly what's going into your detergent, which means you know exactly what's coming on to your family's body. And I think that makes it really, really nice. Yes, the cost savings is amazing. This is really easy. I take about 10 minutes every 3 months or so. Honestly, usually we even have some left over when I, go, okay, we're getting low, go ahead and make it. It doesn't take very long to whip this all together. And so I think it's totally worth it, but let's go ahead and mix it up and see how much we get. So I take the large container here and open up the borax and the superwashing soda. And the goal is here to pour them in kind of evenly, about half of the box. And then I add one of the small oxygen cleaners, kind of mix that together, add in those soap flakes and the old soap, and then top it off with the rest of the powder. The soap flakes really do start to kind of like stick to everything. So I kind of like doing half and half. And then I just hold the lid on really tight and really give it a good mix around. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just trying to incorporate it before pouring it into the jar that I will grab from each time I do laundry with just my little tablespoon scoop in there. And voila, we've done it. It really is that simple. And so now I have this massive canister, a whole gallon full of soap, detergent for our laundry, and I've got a good amount left in here as well. I like having this larger one so I can, yes, holding the lid very well, mix it up and kind of move it around, and then I just store the excess in that. When we get low in the glass jar, I top it off. But it really does last so long because, again, you're using a tablespoon. That's it. It really is all it takes. And I'm talking about, we do full loads of all kinds of stuff, kids and mess and animals and all of it. And it works out so well. If you've got just a little something extra yucky, throw in an extra tablespoon, put in a little bit of the Pine Sol or Pine Glow, and it's going to make a huge difference in your laundry. This is gonna last us the next 3 months. Easily. It lasts so much longer and just, again, leaves our clothes feeling fresh. They're not getting all this buildup and just gunk. I'm not having to stop and strip our laundry every season to remove that. Our towels don't have that, like, bless you, baby. Our towels don't have that, like, musty scent to them anymore that we were finding we were getting so often with literally everything else we had ever used. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff put in where it goes. It just sits right there next to our washing machine on my favorite cabinet. I have to say that having a place to organize all of your laundry room stuff, bless you, makes such a difference. And we have our cabinet that we got from Hernest that works so perfect for our laundry room. It's cute and pretty. It holds the homeschool stuff up on top, and then all of our laundry stuff, extra toilet paper, extra cleaners from the wellness company, like all of that stuff nicely and neatly in there. And I love that what I have, yes, it looks pretty, it's nice to use, but it's effective. And so having a place that I can keep it
organized and just nicely displayed, easy to access, really does make it nice when, let's be honest, there's certain things in life we just can't get around, like laundry, and so we might as well make the most out of it when we have to do these very important things. Using it, again, couldn't be simpler. I keep everything right here so it's easy to get to. I go ahead and just scoop out a nice tablespoon. I go ahead and add it into our detergent area. If it's something that's really gross and really nasty, I might put a tablespoon just into the regular drum, but I put that in there. Again, close it up, put it back. This is our old dispenser from the Wellness Company. And so just to kind of keep it simple and easy, this is that off-brand softener that I showed you guys. So I just put one little pump of this in here. That's just about a little cap full. So it's just a teeny tiny little amount. Again, I don't want all the buildup and stuff on our laundry, but we have found that having a little bit in there does help with all of the static and animal hair that we have in our house. And then in my super awesome, nicely organized thing here, I'm gonna pull out this Pine Sol. I haven't opened it yet. It does, it kind of smells like watermelon. It's kind of crazy. And then you can measure it out. I just kind of put a splash in. That's it. It doesn't take very much. I love having a nice cabinet here because it means a place for everything and everything in its place. It stays nice and tidy. I can close this up. I run it usually with cold water and quite often on the quick wash setting. Now, every once in a while, I'll kind of do an extended wash or if we've put something in there that was really yucky, but really cold water, quick wash with this stuff, good to go. So with all of my ingredients, I really only spend between $20 and $25. I think this trip specifically was right at $21, but this is going to be enough to do at least 2 loads of laundry per day for the next 3 months. And honestly, there's even some days, bedding or something that comes up that we have to do more. And so I'm doing laundry at about 10 cents a load. And that is just absolutely phenomenal. I have found nothing else out there that comes close. And it's something that I think works really well. The items I use leave a little bit of a scent. It is, I think, rather subtle. I don't use a ton. You could add in scent beads or things like that if that's something that you really want to do. We don't like having all the extra chemicals, so we don't. The few things we have not been things that we've had issues with, but of course, do whatever is best for you and your family. And this leaves our clothes truly clean. There's not a lot of buildup. I'm not getting those musty odors, and I really do appreciate something that is so simple, so effective, and just so frugal when looking at how much laundry one needs with a family of this size. Now, maybe there will be a day that I can make this once a year and will last all year long. That would be fantastic. But for now, making these little batches every few months is super easy, totally cost effective, and so worth it for our family. You guys will have to let me know down in the comments below. Have you ever made your own laundry detergent? What are your must-haves that you put in? I know different people do liquids and things like that. I just found the powder so much easier to make and to store. And so for us, we've switched over to powder, and I actually really, really like it. Never thought I'd see the day I would be a powder person and not a liquid person, but here I am and I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to see what you all are using, and of course, be sure to stay tuned because we have a lot more kind of along these lines with building up our homes coming out all week long. I'll leave you all a playlist right after this to go enjoy, and I will see you all right back here in the next one. Bye, friends.